and to the tender care of Mr Henare's Māori Affairs Select Committee.
The question is that the motion be agreed to.
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Shane Jones.
Ai te tuatahi ka huri ki te reo Māori. Kāti e ngā uri a Tuhoe Pōtiki. E ngā mokopuna tūtaka ngā hau. Te umu ariki a kereru a rātou mā nā rātou tēnei kaupapa I poi roto I te ao pohatu. He kiho ki a koutou. Tēnei mātou o te whare. E tuku mihi atu ki a koutou I roto I tēnei rangi. Ka whakaterengia tēnei waka aha ko ana tāmoko kei te kapu o te pepa ko tana wairua kei te ngākau me te wairua o te hunga e tautoko ana I tēnei kaupapa I tiniki rā. Nā reira tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Mai ngā raurau, mai ngā marae, hui arau te tihi o maunga pohatu, huri noa ki te tutukitanga, ki te moana toi, tēnei mātou te mihi atu ki a koutou, kua tatu mai ki te upoko o te ika. Ahau nei e maharana ki te rārangi o ngā kōrero I titua e te hautupu o te ao Māori mo te kaitito wahine a mihi te kapua. Nāna te ki, te roa te whenua, te tawhai atu rā. Noho ana hoki a hau I pōneke. Awhi ana hau ki a koe te karauna he whakairitanga tēnei mo te mate o taku tinana. Tāku ki a tātou. Ngā kupu I oti tēnā kuia o roto o Tuhoe he whakatūpato I tēnei reanga e tūnei me ngā mokopuna e hārea ke nei. Waiho hei kōrerotanga mā tātou tamariki ki te marae o tira me huri tātou ki te whitinga o te rā. Nā reira tēnā koutou katoa. Sir, I have said in our Māori language and recited a verse coming from one of the great composers of Te Ao Māori from Te Urewera Tuhoe region, Mihi Te Kapua. Where in English, sir, what she said was, I travel such a long way to reach distant Wellington. When I embrace you, Crown, I know it will destroy me. And sir, this is a day where the descendants of that kuia, and indeed, sir, on my side of the house, the descendant of Richard Seddon, in the form of David Cunliffe, whose tupuna 100 years ago went to Galatea, Waikare Moana, Ruatoki, Ruatahuna, to meet and discuss with the chiefs of that time. The fact, sir, that he was brave enough to do it 100 years ago when the average Kiwi hardly knows where these places are, let alone visit them, is testimony as to not only how small our country is, sir, but how history actually has a way of reminding us that it is both political and personal. So we stand to support this bill. We stand to support this bill knowing that over the last 10 years, members on my side of the House, sir, have had to endure an episode that has not been a proud moment between the affairs of the Crown and Tuhoe, and I refer here, sir, very briefly to what has become known in the media as the police raids. Sir, it was a bleak day, and I salute the Minister and his willingness not to shy away from that issue in the various commentaries that have been developed and reported upon as the Minister has brought this kaupapa to the House in this form. It was a very regrettable incident, sir, and as my senior colleague to my left, who was unfortunately at that point in time the Minister, though not responsible for the affairs of the police, has apologised on a number of occasions for the hurt and anguish that that episode represented. And I want to say that, sir, in the context of this bill, because we will not, sir, leave any stone unturned to ensure that this bill is not only supported, but the Select Committee process gets every level of support that it deserves from our side of the House. Sir, it was in 1871 that the Tuhoe elders conceived and composed a set of policies that have become known as the Whitu Tekau, translated into Māori, the 70. And sir, in Māori it simply was kaua te rori, kaua te ruri, kaua te rihi, kaua te hoko. And Sir, in the 1890s, it fell to Seddon and his Māori colleague, Carroll, to try and give practical expression to that via the passage of legislation. And Sir, as the Minister has pointed out, whilst the bill was debated at the time and law was passed, it was observed in the breach, not in honouring it. So Sir, today this piece of legislation is very significant because, Sir, this is an iwi. Had it not have been for their matua tūtangaho, there would be no Elsden Best books for anthropology, ethnography, Māori students, and the other host of souls that go to university and want to read Elsden Best. I must confess, I was not one of them. And Sir, this is also the people who, amongst Māoridom, have been regarded as the final bastion for the quality of our Māori language. And I want to salute those families who have endeavoured to maintain that kaupapa. I will not isolate particular individuals, so better that task fall to the third speeches, sir, because it is going to be quite a demanding process for my colleague Tuhoe to shepherd the select committee through. This is significant in what it does to one of our national parks, sir. Make no mistake that I, along with my colleagues, was extremely surprised that the Minister of Treaty Settlement was able to carry the support of his senior colleagues and bring this forward as a model of governance, kaitiakitanga, and embedding Māori in they're already in the soil, but, sir, in the spirit of the new law and in the application of the new law. And it's something I've not a doubt in my mind would never have been attempted or indeed delivered upon in the time, sir, of our predecessor Helen Clark and Geoffrey Palmer. So the fact that you've done that and we support you shows that there is a maturing amongst the Pākehā people of that particular region, but broadly speaking, the media are not prepared to pick these issues up to divide us. And the real test, sir, lies in the actual execution and the application. And we support the notion that these settlements should be checked up upon from time to time. And this is an area where the challenges are large because it's a region, sir, that has been overlooked and neglected. And whilst this kaupapa does represent a transfer of financial capital and land, to turn that capital and land into a durable flow of economic good and benefit will be an exacting task. But, sir, that's not for us. We're the parliamentarians today who want to work together to ensure that this piece of legislation, sir, actually passes with minimal drama. So I want to quote what in 1869, after the Tuhoe consented for Te Kōti Rikirangi to enter their territory. And sir, this is what Te Kōti is attributed, this is what is attributed to Te Kōti. The words received by Moses. Tango ana hau ia koutou hei iwi mōku. Ko ahau hei atua mō koutou. Mōhio koutou ko ihoa ahau ko koutou no ki te iwi o te kawinata. I take you as my people. I will be your God and you will know I am Jehovah. You are the people of the covenant. The covenant, sir, takes a new shape and form today in the representation of this legislation. It is imbued, sir, both with spiritual significance, the heritage of the people, but the honour of the Crown. And for those reasons, sir, it is important that both parties and all parties join together and demonstrate to the treaty partner our generation is serious about upholding the duties of history, but also, sir, working together so the future and its potential and its promise is delivered not only for Tuhoe, but for our entire country. Tēnā koutou, kia ora koutou katoa.
Honourable Anne Tolley,
Mr Speaker, Tanakwe Te Whare. A large